in
Bro,
trouble,
come on.
Luther. Don't get in
We're going
trouble.
prime time.
Yeah. We're technically live. We'll wait for people to show up in the chat here. There's Joel Pearl. Always timely, Joel Pearl.
Yeah, people start filing. We have television stars today, so they should be a bit quicker. You know, I mean, Luther's just found out we're live, so I'm slightly concerned about his plans for this project. You know, I don't know what sort of edit you thought we were going to do here, but man, we're live, pal. We're live.
Awesome.
Joel Pearl lives here. True. JR, what's going on, buddy? Guys, we're doing subscribers only for the chat. So if you're following but not subscribed, you know, subscribe. If you have Amazon Prime, you can use your Amazon Prime account, link it to Twitch, get a Twitch subscription. There you go. Joel Pearl just put it out there in the chat there. So if
Hit
you
that button.
Yeah, hit the button. Subscribe to us. Give us a subscription. Interact with AEW main eventers, Serpentico and Luther.
Nothing but facts. There you go.
Not lying.
Show me the lie. Show me the lie.
It's a big show, right? I mean, we've often said, Jeremy and I, that like we view our season finale as the famed Winter is Coming Luther edition, right? We mentioned it, people loved it, it was a great time. But now we're talking about tag team dream match here, right? In the Twitch realm, this is something different. I mean, I'm looking here at the top right corner of my screen, and I'm seeing the faces you guys see live here, folks. This is a big deal. I mean, maybe not in the real world, but in this tiny little universe we're operating in, man, it's a big one.
Oh no, in the real world, baby.
Oh, there you go. But again, you're a big star now, so that does make sense.
Well, half of us are. Serpentico is a big star.
It's a big act, man. It's a big deal, right? It's a big deal. Now, Luther, how prepared are you in terms of big bold for your 1986 picks?
Oh, I'm ready to rock and roll.
I need to ask you before we start picking and all this good stuff, and Jeremy has to try and download these fellas, and it's gonna be a catastrophe. Okay, but I will ask straight up here.
Well, I tried to make it as hard as I could.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
That's not a surprise to me. That kind of leads to my question here. Okay, your passionate love for the year 1986 has been a trend on our show.
Well, that's what I went for it. I was like, what should we do different? And then for some reason it just hit in my head. 86!
For some
no
reason,
idea. It could be
86
any
lives
year.
in your head.
Well, the
It's
80s
always
live in my
like-
head. I'm still in the 80s, man.
So the gimmick for this show is we're going to simulate Fire Pro matches. We're each going to pick two 1986 wrestlers as close as possible that I can download on the Fire Pro.
Or 80s.
Yeah,
Whatever.
just 80s. As close as possible that I can download on the Fire Pro. And then we're going to hold a little 8-man tournament, and bragging rights are on the line. That's what's on. I think the winner gets a spot on AEW Dark, right? Like, that's what we're doing? Can we pull that with TK?
Let's go.
For our sake, I hope we don't win, brother.
I like high stakes like this. I like it.
There you go.
We can get
Well,
on that show, Joseph. We're good enough to be on that show.
Some of those matches last week were awful short. I think I can do it. I can take a Ricky Starks spear and get out of there and never be seen again. I can do it. I believe I can do it.
I'm pretty sure Ricky would love the opportunity to just punch me in the face. So
That's the truest thing said so far, my friend. That's really factual. Chat's fired up here. Chat's fired up. This, in many ways, this feels like kind of like a prelude for AEW Dark, right? I mean, if you're in the chat here watching us dipshits do it, but you got to watch Dark, the real stars doing their thing. I mean, they're good at picking wrestlers for Fire Pro, but wrestling, different level, you know?
Right.
Joel Pearl, can you set up channel point betting on matches? Can you do
Oh,
that
man.
for us?
Now we're getting really serious.
Now we're going big time. This is prime time.
We tried
It
to
is.
do we tried to
Yes.
do this for the Avs and Knights game on Saturday because we did a watch along, and then it got delayed for 9 hours, and we were like, oh, that's not gonna happen.
Oh, jeez.
Did you watch that game at midnight, Luther?
I did not. You know, the last hockey game I watched was your guys playing.
Playing NHL hits. You were weighing the team down, man.
Hey, I got an assist in the first game.
Okay.
Birdman says, I want to see Joseph take an AJ Styles back body drop. You're never going to see that, my friend. I can confirm that much. That will never be seen. There you go.
Hello, Fightful Faithful.
Hey, everybody should wish Serpentico a happy birthday today.
Oh my God! Happy birthday!
Whoa.
What are you doing here with us?
Well, I spread the love everywhere. I'm good for that.
In other words, I made him do it.
He texts me, hey, show up at 2. I'm like, all right.
And then he shows up 20 minutes after you do. That's tremendous. True veteran instincts there.
JJ.
Chat's excited.
JJ with the
Happy
100
birthday.
bits. Thanks, JJ. He says hello to everyone. JJ, our biggest supporter.
Oh, hello.
JJ.
Other than Luther himself, right? You know, Luther listened to this show before we did, so yeah.
All right, do you guys want to? Let's do a random order here for the draft.
Okay. This is the nerve time, right? This is where you wonder about the preparation that's gone into this. You're shuffling through your names here. Luther's looking. He's already.
I am looking. Well, I already know, but I'm just hoping no one picks it.
Okay.
I've
But
got
I'm screwed.
I've got my first pick. After that, we'll have to see how it goes. So I'm just hoping I get the first overall pick. You guys are just gonna have to trust that the random order is true. I hope you'll
Okay.
trust me.
You're saying you're first. Yeah, is that what you're telling
I know nothing about 1986 wrestling. I've only got my first 100 picks, so.
Yeah. He never talks about it at work at all.
Molly's here. Hello, Molly.
Damn, all the stars are here today, right? Yeah. And Joel Pearl, he's here too.
All right, so I'm gonna get yelled at for this order, but it's me,
here we go.
Serpentico, Joseph, and Luther. I promise that's the order. So Luther, you got back-to-back picks on this thing. All right, I am taking Macho Man Randy Savage.
Okay.
It's very fair.
That's the one pick I wanted for sure, and I'm happy to get him.
Okay. Is it my turn, I guess?
Yes,
My pick?
is your pick. We are doing snake or Serpentico order here.
Yes.
Oh.
It's his birthday. He should have got to go first.
You
Way
have
to
to you
go.
have to be true to the randomizer, Luther.
That's true.
I will pick Roddy Piper.
Okay.
Oh, you son of a... All right.
You're getting heat. I like it.
The Luther big board is just falling apart at pick 2.
My whole game plan is shot.
Yeah,
I'm going to throw you extra.
Great. Oh, great.
Okay, so this is an interesting one because I'm actually picking a peer of our two great guests today. I'm taking a man who at this time was in his mid-20s and looked approximately 45. The Enforcer Double A on Anderson. Gotta be.
I knew that was coming.
Okay.
Luther, you have back-to-back picks here.
Here we go. This is big.
Dynamite Kid.
Okay.
It's interesting. It's against the era, so to speak, though, right? You're ahead of your time again, Luther.
Well, he was pretty good in '86 still.
Different time, though, in terms of his position on the card, right? Very different.
That's okay. I like to go with the underdog. Let me see.
Tense.
You know what? I'm going to live life large. I'm going Don Morocco.
Oh, man. How deep
Not
did you dig on the big
expected
ball,
that
brother?
Oh, the Piper pick messed up Luther. He's
Oh,
going
yeah,
down
he
to
just
rock.
threw me right off. Derailed me. I got derailed. I just got powerbombed off the apron right there. I'm like, oh, I'm done.
Not again. Let's not do any more apron stuff. Come on, let's rein it in. There's a lot of big names on the board here, like huge names. But I have a brand to protect, so for that reason, I'll be taking Stan Hansen off the board.
Oh, okay. All right, Serpentico.
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to go with Andre the Giant.
Yeah, that's certainly a big name.
It's a big name for big tournament. So let's go.
All right, I'm taking Ric Flair.
Yeah, I feel like it says a lot about us and who we are as people that he went 8th. Hogan remains on the board. Like, we're unique guys here on this stream. Clearly,
I thought about Hogan and I was like, no.
Yeah, most of us. There you go.
Yeah. All right, let me download everybody. I've
right.
So you guys banter amongst yourselves as I work these downloads here.
So, folks in the chat, so obviously you guys can talk among yourselves in the chat about, God only knows what, but anything you throw up that's for these two gentlemen here, I will try and send it their way. We'll get some answers. The Drew Nicholas has 100 bits, I believe that is. Ultimate says grins galore indeed. Tank says, turns out Vader debuted in New Japan in 87. Everyone is safe. That would have been a big miss, right? I think of Vader as a 90s guy. Right? That's the way my mind would position him. Who was the top name on your guys' draft kind of hopes that it hasn't been taken, but you also didn't take? So obviously, Luther, you missed out on Piper, but is there anyone that's still on the board that you just didn't get to?
I thought about Big John Studd.
I can see that. I see that.
And Cowboy Bob Orton.
Oh man, Cowboy Bob, that would have been strong. I'd like to see his Fire Pro gimmick. That could have been fun. Okay, JJ's got some questions here. Simple question and a fair one. 100 Bears, he says, is TK afraid to make you AEW Tag Team Champion? I mean, simple question, simple answer, right?
I'm afraid of being AEW Tag Team Champion. Because that means I'm just going to be thrown into more people. And I don't know if you guys know this, but it kind of doesn't tickle.
I guess that when I would see it. I didn't look like the most fun. But that's your deal now, man, right? That's what the team is, I guess.
I guess it works.
I have no problems with it.
No, that's interesting. That's interesting.
I remember Miro once called it the greatest rib in wrestling because it's someone taking a slam and then getting slammed upon. I get slammed on that person, and poor, Luther has to pick up everybody and throw them anyway. So it's just a giant rib on everybody.
So I don't want to make this like a formal interview deal for you guys because I know you're giving us that time. I appreciate it, but now that you mentioned that, it is interesting. I mean, AEW arguably has the most talented tag ranks ever. I think that's an argument, right? Mm-hmm. And it's been interesting to watch you guys find your own clear identity. I mean, what you're talking about now, that is like a clear style that no other team's looking at and saying that's our thing, right? That's yours.
Yeah.
How organic was that process? Like, was that something where you did it once and said we've got something of that, or was it a clear kind of plan?
We talked about it for 5 minutes and let's see where it goes. And we tried it, and it got a good reaction, so we just kept build upon it every match.
That's pretty cool, right? I mean, so the thing with Dark, the thing with Dark that's interesting is like it's because of its format. It's not a show that's causing a bunch of debate every week, right? It's a show that happens and the audience comes back and they enjoy it. But it's still a show that does really good numbers on YouTube. Like, I see it myself. So, how much do you guys pay attention to the audience for Dark, whether it be stuff they tweet you directly or the comments underneath the video? Is that something you guys will react to as far as or read into as far as your reaction? Because obviously right now the audience, it's tough, right?
Right. So at first it was overwhelmingly negative reaction, as is the internet, how it works, right? Everything has to be bad before it's good. And then we just stayed the course. We didn't change anything. I'm not one if this person doesn't like it, I'll change it for you, buddy. And we just stayed the course. We kept doing what we were doing. We trusted each other, and we just kept adding to what we started. And now eventually it gets a favorable reaction from everybody just because it's so different. Like you said, it's unique compared to every other match on the card, which is what wrestling should be. It should be a big circus act, right? It should be dancing bears, and then bearded ladies, and then no clowns. Like, it shouldn't always be the same thing. And yes, we would be the bearded ladies.
That's why. But that's true, right? I think, like, it's a cliche, the whole, you hear promoters often say variety show, right? But the truth is, it's a cliche because it is real. It's the real. And I think AEW is an interesting example of that. I mean, I have to ask our friend Luther here. We're talking exploding barbed wire death matches coming up real soon here, my friend. I mean, what was your reaction to that news? Talk about variety show. That's pretty bold, right?
Well, that popped me because I had no idea about that. I thought that was pretty cool.
It was out there, right? It wasn't the match stipulation any of us predicted, I don't think.
It took me by surprise big time.
Is that the match that you're like, of all the matches you guys will sit and watch when you're doing these tapings for Dark or, whatever, like, you must be thinking, I need to have a nice seat to see the exploding. Like, that's going to be a spectacle.
I want to be as close as possible, but at the same time, it's kind of terrifying to be at close, the close I want to be. So we'll see how we can sneak in, but yeah, that's something you have to experience live, like literally right next to it, Hopefully they're not wearing flammable clothing, but we'll see.
Right, yeah, fair point.
I can't wait to watch it.
You're an expert, Luther, to be on that genre. Maybe not that specific. That's that isn't the sort of match that everyone has every weekend, right? But that genre, I would look to you as like a pretty experienced voice. Do you expect, in fear of being inside baseball here, are you expecting the spectacle approach to that match, where it's a lot of kind of will they, won't they, or are you expecting graphic violence? Because that's been a conversation I've seen since they've announced it.
Don't you think it'll be a little bit of both?
I would hope so, but I think as the genre evolved, I think it began to lean a lot more on the latter,
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of each one. I mean, I just can't. I just can't. I don't know. I don't know how. I think it's going to be super awesome, and they're gonna bust their asses out, and like the technology now compared to like 91, 92, 93, like
not screwed.
Yeah, it should be just amazing. So,
I mean, they're the guys for the role too, right? Like,
they're batshit insane. Like both of them individually, like, different characteristics, different type of wrestlers, but they both were willing to sacrifice their bodies to, entertain. So I'm expecting really good things, really loud things, really bright things.
Are you guys got any big plans for the Revolution? Are you still hoping to work your way on to maybe, I don't know, the ladder match deal? Are you expecting to have are you now firmly at a point where it's like, we'll be on the next pay-per-view, this time we're watching, right?
It's terrifying. Ladder matches, man. I've been through a lot of ladder matches, but never with a partner that would willingly throw me into them. So maybe we'll see that one out. I don't know.
I think that's a good idea. I think it's probably one for the crowd, this show, right?
Yeah,
sit in the crowd. Yeah.
It's a pay-per-view to enjoy, we bring up popcorn and our sodas, and, we'll enjoy it from the crowd.
So that would mean I'd have to practice carrying 100... How much do you weigh, sir?
I
weigh
200. So I'd have to practice carrying like 200 pounds on my shoulder up a ladder and throwing.
That don't sound like fun practice.
That doesn't seem fun at all.
I'll just think of myself sort of as like a fireman.
But you're not saving me. You're doing the opposite.
But I don't know. Is it not saving you?
We're into philosophy now, man. It's too early or late. I don't know.
It's going to be interesting. So I was wondering, you mentioned a moment ago, like you said about, it's this one of those deals, get the popcorn. How, like, as much as you're having fun with it, how accurate is that for pay-per-view day for you guys? I mean, these aren't common events for a year, right? Is where AEW's at right now. Is the feel at the arena very much, this enjoy this night? It's going to be a fun night of wrestling, because for the audience it clearly is. I was wondering for you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The pay-per-views focus more on wrestling, less on interviews and segments, right? So you're gonna get 5, 6, 7, 8 long banger matches. So they do have this big fight feel to them, especially because they've been promoted for such a long time. And the atmosphere, even though it's the same building for the last year or so, the atmosphere does feel different.
It does.
You do walk in that Sunday feeling like something big is gonna go down. Anything could happen, right? So it's something.
How's that electric feel? vibe, that electric vibe going.
Especially this one.
And Serp, I mean, he did the play-in match on one of the pay-per-views a while ago.
Oh yeah, so you never know. Usually, Lenny has all the information. I usually wake up to a text going, "Hey," I'm like, "Oh no." So I usually get booked in my sleep,
It's very. I mean, that seems on brand with what we experienced today, so I believe that 100%. It is interesting, like you guys saying about the feel, and it's been really fascinating to watch. With the promotion, kind of, it feels wrong to say stuck in that arena, because like it's a pretty cool place to be, right? It's not like you're locked away, but it's like it's been interesting watching the promotion adapt and try and create a feel of a different energy for certain shows. Like the Dynamite specials they've done and stuff. With the pay-per-views, it's like I think everyone realizes that in 20 years or so, those are the events that truly live, right? It's like they're the markers you put in on each year. Is that something that just as people that, you guys love what you do and it's great to see the other guys flourish, but in your heart, is it like, man, I'd just love to be on one of those main cards as a team, as a singles, whatever, just so like, in 20 years when people go back and watch Full Gear 2021 or whatever, there I am. Is that something that plays in your mind, or just, roll with it?
I think you always want to be on the main card, main shows. I mean, we always love being, like for me, whichever show we're on, we give it our best anyway all the time. But it's always like way more special being on Dynamite, and I mean to be on a pay-per-view would be incredibly, insanely awesome.
Yeah, like wrestling's all about moments, right? So like you can have 1,000 5-star matches a year, which is great, but what's going to be replayed, as you said, are the big moments that happen on pay-per-view or the big segments on Dynamite. So anything that we can get our hands on, whatever assignment we get, we're going to do to our fullest. So that's even if it's berating a little child, we'll do that too. We're not above yelling at little kids.
Can you blow up a kid on the thing? Like,
might have to answer to a few people, but I don't know, maybe.
I mean, I don't care which kid, son.
I'm not
Just
an expert.
A kid.
I would just have to pull off the old Canadian standby. Sorry.
It's interesting hearing you guys talk about whatever assignment you're given. So last week's Dark was an incredible one to follow on social while watching it, because it was a unique Dark, right? There was a jam-packed amount of matches. I think it was like an hour and 5 minutes. But you guys were one of the matches that was, pretty intentionally, clearly allowed to breathe something, right?
Yeah.
Is it very much a week-to-week thing where, that taping, it's like, okay, Bear Country is your match here, this is the objective for this? Or are you looking more overarching as like, here's how we need to position ourselves within the division? Because I'd imagine with so much talent coming and going that's not signed, it changes weekly, right, as to how you're presenting yourself in that particular match.
Yeah. I mean, either whoever we are wrestling, like the number one thing is to get the actual match itself, like have a good match, most like getting someone else over or something, right? Like you want to be able to present the actual match itself as something that people want to tune in. And then once we get the objective of whatever we're doing, then Luther and I brainstorm what we could do to add to this, and it's something, it's really cool dynamic, because like you said, AEW has so many different teams. Not every match is going to be different, how we get into it, how we wrestle. And yes, you'll see, unfortunately, me be thrown at them, but it changes it week to week, right?
A good question here from Tank. Our friend Tank says, if you had a time machine, which today, thankfully, we do, he says, if you go back and wrestle anyone as a tag team, which team would you take in a time machine scenario? Any team.
I'll let Luther answer this first, because I got a perfect answer.
We could wrestle any team from the past. Oh, that's a tough question, really, because there's so many cool teams. I don't know. I think I would have liked to wrestle like the British Bulldogs, or even the Hart Foundation would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Me being a giant Hayabusa fan, and the track record that Luther has, in Japan, I would love to have been able to wrestle Hayabusa and Jinsei Shinsaki, like in their prime in Japan. That would have been fantastic.
That's super cool. Luther, you've kind of been defeated. That was a very sharp answer.
I've already wrestled Hayabusa.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Luther just one up them. He's like, I've already done that match.
That was Phil.
The other day, we were in the locker room watching Family Guy, as we do, and
that's how we prep up for our matches. We watch Family Guy and American Dad.
Yeah, just gratuitous violence for no reason. No wonder it works, right? So we're sitting there, and he casually drops that he's wrestled at Corcoran Hall like 26 times. Like, oh, I've been there negative 26 times. All right.
Is that now? I mean, again, like this is all new. Okay, everything's changing all the time. I'd imagine just as much for you guys as it is for the fan. But with the recent developments, are you guys as a team looking and saying, man, there's a tour there to be had. There's a fun, as guys cross back and forth potentially.
Yes, we actually talk about this all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
All the time. And once we're cleared to travel on national and go, we're going. So.
That's cool. That's super cool. Yeah.
We have talked about that many times. So
I was on track there, right? So that's a conversation. I'm glad to hear it.
Can I report that you're going to be in the tag league this year?
Official, brother.
Let's not get anyone in trouble.
yeah,
that's the key to this stream. No one in trouble. That's the plan.
We didn't say it.
We actually, we did a interview, which will be coming out soon, but with someone else. That the whole starting of the interview was my match against Okada for 47 minutes.
Yeah, Color was very confused as to what he was talking about.
Is this
for
a
like
shoot?
5
Is
minutes
somebody
of the
asked you about
interview,
this?
I was putting over my match on your guys' stream.
Wait, is this a shoot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's this?
We'll
Who was
hear
the interview with?
You'll see.
Oh my
You'll
god.
see.
It's pretty big, though.
And I'm just sitting there, just listening, going, I mean, if he says it's happened, I guess it did.
I was like, it happened 2 days ago.
Wait a minute.
That was a classic. I mean, Luther, he took about 12 Rainmakers by the end of that thing. I don't know how he was getting back to his feet, but he tried his all. It was incredible.
Joel Pearl, I'm trying to. Andre and Savage are not cooperating with the downloads here, so I've got about 15 different versions of them, and I'm hoping one of them works.
Yeah, there's a lot of allegations of cheating here headed Jeremy's way. It's, people, they want the Stars to win today, which I am admitting takes me out of the proceedings too. That's how it goes to our guests. But they're suggestions of things about Jeremy's
Luther, Serpentico, and Joseph can see the screen that I'm doing
Yes.
here, and they can see that I'm just trying to add different versions of Andre and Savage, and hopefully one of them works.
Yes, Randy Savage has been missing a head a couple times.
Yes,
I can
yes.
Together, so that
Okay,
is tough.
we got it. We got different. All right.
We got him.
Yes, we're good. All right, I can put the stream up now.
It's almost time, folks. Here we go. Big tournament here. Big tournament.
There we go. Everyone can see it. So here's the brackets for the tournament. It is Flair against Piper,
Oh wow.
Arn against Dynamite Kid,
Strong.
Morocco against Andre,
Okay.
and Savage against Hanson.
I like it.
Those are all
Great
pretty
call.
good.
That's actually really good match.
So
Yes.
that's the card here. Do you guys have a preference on the kind of tournament we do? Do you want to do
Hello.
like a
Fightful
cage
Faithful.
death match, shoot fighting, all barbed wire death matches, or you just want to keep it pure wrestling?
I'd say keep it pure wrestling, just because of
Pure
the
wrestling.
participants involved,
Next time we do this, we can do a flashback FMW IWA wing and do all death matches.
Let's make out of this one first, mate. I'm getting in trouble. Let's not get carried away here, Luke. You're getting excited. I can see you. You're getting fired up.
Oh no, I gotta that's more my wheelhouse. This is it.
Oh, is that an excuse for what's going to happen today, Luke? You're already getting out there now.
I'm riding on my guys. I think they're gonna do fine.
Ric Flair.
I mean, we've all got pretty solid guys here, right? I think it's hard to miss when you're going time machine style.
So both guys I picked were in Stampede Wrestling in my rookie when I first started, and they were both very nice to me. That's why I went with them.
That's a lot better reason than we have for ours. Jeremy and I are over here just picking guys that popped us. That's very different, you know?
And I just picked the biggest guy. I'm like, he's big.
Which Arn would you like, Joseph? You have this one
Okay, that definitely looks like Arn.
or that one?
That's too much hair. That's Phil. There we go. That's better. Because 86 Arn, in fairness, there is a lot of hair there. Not much on the front, but the back, he's still got some. It's good to see. Oh man,
Everyone can
party in the
see
back.
that people are missing heads and faces. And there was no. Usually, there's a requirement that it listed on the site that you download these from. It says like, oh, this is required to have, and there was none for any of these people. And so I thought, oh, we're good to go. And like, of course, it doesn't work like that ever.
I'm interested. I don't want to turn this into a trivia deal because that's something I'm never going to win at. But Dynamite Kid and Arn, is that a WWF deal? Did they cross paths there? I feel like that's a match didn't happen. Maybe I'm wrong. Luffy, you may be the expert on this. Any thoughts?
You know what? I'm not sure.
Serpentico, do you have a preference on Andre? You have this one? That one?
Yeah, let's go with
Or we also have that one.
You know what? Let's go with this one.
Okay.
Luffy's just made a note that that's
all the
inaccurate for 86.
Alright, I got 2 options for Savage.
I feel like we've got a strong lineup here. You know, it's probably better than our actual tournament. The chat decided. Sorry, chap, it's the truth. Some strong matches here. I mean, round 1, when you have Piper and Flair in round 1, you've got one hell of a tournament, right?
Oh,
Alright, we're good. This is the tournament. AEW dark match on the line.
Boy, here we go. No pressure.
Flair and Piper. This is myself against Serpentico. This is a classic 1980, could be a classic 1980s match, a classic late 90s WCW match.
Classic's one word for it, my friend. They had matches. They were. Like, in fairness, like Piper's WCW one, obviously, it was where it was. But Flair does have his best matches there. They do have some really fun, spirited, like old guy affairs in WCW. So this is a different Piper thing.
Thanks for the follow, Austin07, Amen, and the Savior 2191. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, the predictions are up. You can get your predictions now. Use your channel points to make predictions on this tournament.
can you see who's leading the prediction?
I believe in the chat you can look at the different who has the most channel points. Joel Pearl. Joel Pearl.
You know, one of the great moments between these two guys, I think, was when, in the famed Rumble that Flair won, right, 92, when he's cleared the ring out and Piper's music hits. That is like a classic character moment there. You talked about moments earlier. That's definitely one.
Alright, Joseph, how much do we miss the finish on this? We have 4 people between us. I feel like one of us should catch the finish.
I feel like Luther's locked in, man. I mean, he's been taking notes, he's got statistics. I don't think he's missing no finish. I mean, I'm not going to see any of the finishes.
Planning this for a full week, so.
Yes. Yes.
I got it.
Bud Ryan with the fair prediction. I predict chops, lots of them. Yes, that seems likely.
Well, Flair's hair is on point for this one. I'll give him that.
Yes, this is very much like peak Flair. 86, I mean, we're looking at, that's pretty much in the ballpark of peak Flair, right, we'd say?
Yeah.
Horsemen are rolling, you know?
So there's 2 horsemen in this tournament.
There you go. Could be a hell of a final.
Yeah, what if we get a Horseman final here?
Did you ever close to being a horseman, Luther? That could have been a role for you. Imagine the Death Dealer as a horseman, throwing up the 4 and pointing to the head. That could have been a thing, right?
Yeah.
have worse horsemen, bro. Don't beat yourself up.
You have to apprentice as like in the ponymen first, and then you graduate up to the horseman. I didn't even get onto that. I wasn't even a squire.
Joseph's in Bullet Club, from what I hear.
Like tweets mean everything. If a Bullet Club member likes your tweet referencing Bullet Club, you're in Bullet Club. That's it. You're in. Make a shirt and get on with it. Okay, just keep quiet.
Oh, Flair begging off. The iPod didn't even work. Come on, Rick. Oh, Piper returns it.
It is glorious that Rick actually does that spot in this game. How great is that?
Dude, this game is so good. So good.
Isn't it?
Oh, figure 4 already. It didn't even work the knee, brother.
He never beats anyone with a figure 4. He'll be Piper's fine.
There you go. Work the leg, Rick.
So JJ says in the chat he's got us 4. He's saying we're the 4s. Seems generous, gonna be honest. But this I like more. AEW Tope Suicida says Luther, Serpentico, FTR. AEW's 4 horsemen. That seems strong, guys. I don't know.
They seem to be very grumpy gentlemen. They fit in perfect.
Yeah, it's a different type of evil, but it's there, right? There's a vibe
Definitely there.
Yeah.
They both left for chops. Rick
Oh
busting
man,
on
drop
the
kick.
kick.
Why is he going for a drop kick? No, I mean, it works. It's fine. Tap. Go ahead.
Can we each hold up? Can we all hold up 4 fingers and then we can all be horsemen?
Is that how it works?
Yeah. Then we're just horsemen. There we go. We're
I'll be on Twitter within minutes. No horseman.
Yeah.
I'm Paul Romans.
You're Paul Roma. Oh, Piper's going up top. My God. Yeah, that wasn't smart. You missed.
They're extending the offensive range, both of these guys here. We're seeing drop kicks, elbows off the top.
This is an important tournament. They're going to give it their all.
There you go. So 86, I mean, again, I know, Luffy, you're very generous. You allowed us to extend our range a little bit. But you're an 86 guy, so I want to respect that. Piper is like, he's about to hit his first retirement, right? He's about to go and do some movies and have some fun, I believe, right? He's WrestleMania 3, right? 86? So I
We were
believe...
talking about, weren't we talking about what the times that the WrestleManias were the other day?
Yes, we were. We actually, this is what brought on the 1996
This is what brought it on.
game for this show. Yeah.
Fair, very fair.
Piper just a pile driver. Come on, Rick.
Good.
He's not in
Good.
that.
Yeah, Flair ain't losing in 8 minutes.
Look, this match has got at least another 40, okay?
This is going to be the longest match of the tournament, isn't it, really? I'm hoping that Owen is going to... to be fair, my picks are guys that I feel like can give you something that doesn't... there can be less time, right? Owen's the master of that 8 minutes TV slot, so I'm confident. We're going to fight up about this new Horseman talk, both including us and FTR, which is, very different things, I feel. There you go.
Yeah, Tank mentions that Flair's got a blade.
It's
He's gonna blade every match. He's in. Side.
Have you guys interacted with Flair ever? Because I know he's done, like, he'll show up and do signings and... there's always tales. Luther, you're a veteran, probably worked him, right? What's happening? Tell me about...
I've never actually met him.
Wow.
I've met him at TNA. That was kind of crazy Flair where he would shut down the Hooters.
That was crazy Flair, as opposed to any other year.
Any other year is kind of like sublime, very like chill Flair. TNA days, oh boy.
Moxley, I was reading an interview with him, and he's like, yeah, Rick would go around telling people I got him arrested after a night of drinking.
I mean, it could possibly be. Who knows? Oh, Flair's tired.
It's 11 minutes in. Ric Flair's not tired. 11 minutes in.
Figure 4, of course he did.
Tap out, coward.
It's a mere transition for Roddy, the figure 4. He calls it, he's like, I'm going to go up first. Flair needs to... I feel like the chops in the corner are a complete missing. Right? We haven't seen... He's working the leg a little. could be key. I've been informed that there was already tweets suggesting we are the new Four Horsemen, so there you go. Don't know if you guys own the trademark, but I certainly don't.
I think Arn has it.
Oh. That's tremendous, himself.
There's the chop. There we go. That's the finish.
Please no.
Oh.
I'd be quite angry.
He's stealing my gimmick right there.
Yeah, what's up with this, Luther?
That needs to be a thing for your social, Luke. You need to, anytime you're watching old wrestling, the guy points their head, you need to screenshot that and be like, stealing my gimmick in 1985. You need to make that thing, man. That'd be great.
Maybe I subconsciously stole his.
You need a hashtag, the whole deal would be great. Jeremy, who is your other guy in the tournament? I know Serpentico's got a big hitter alongside Robbie. Who's your second guy?
Savage.
Oh man. So you're both, you know, while you want these guys to win, you're not living in Bali, right? You've got other options.
And Savage was my first overall pick. That was the guy I definitely wanted. He kicked him in the dick. That's a Luther move too.
Hey, ripping me off.
Yeah, look here, come on.
Yeah, Savage was my top pick. That was the one guy I definitely wanted. So that's who I'm banking on. Flair's just
again, Flair is incredible. Considering you got Savage at 1, Flair at 8 is pretty strong. Yeah. I gotta give it to you.
Deep man.
Oh no. This has still got another 20 minutes.
Yeah. And no one's reading it.
I mean, I feel like, you know, our friend Luther famously told us on the podcast, he said himself, some guys, we need to go out and hit them out. Well, we need to get to them fast, try and clean up. I mean, if Luther started going 40 on here, I feel like we've got another 90 minutes for Flair. I feel like that's locked in, you know?
We could be here till tomorrow.
There's the drop kick.
It's the drop kick.
Rick very unsure. Rick very unsure of what he's doing. Not great.
I feel like if there's one thing about Ric Flair, he's very seldom unsure of what he's doing within a wrestling ring, right? He can quickly hit one of his notes there and be like, okay, I'm back, I know what's going on. People in the chat demanding the blade job.
Gotta do it.
He's got to do it before 20, and he's getting there.
Yeah, they haven't done the oh my goodness, Flair knocked himself out.
Oh, you don't see that much.
Flair's got cut on again. It's got another cut-off spot.
You did the Flair flop.
Dude, that was awesome. It was perfect.
You just Flair flop on him. There we go, work the leg. That's it.
Look at the rope.
Oh, that can't be the finish. Piper, look, I gotta give Piper credit. He's not half-assing these covers here.
Yeah, that match up.
He's working that backbreaker a lot.
Psychology in it, you know. It's just these guys, they work different. Oh man.
There we go, work the leg.
Center of the ring, Jeremy. Here we go. No.
Suplex. Hit him with the German suplex.
Oh.
Phenomenal stretch. Who does
That's it.
that?
That's it. That's
Come
the
on.
finish.
He beat him with it.
Let's go.
He beat him with it.
Yes. The abdominal stretch.
The abdominal stretch wins. This is ridiculous.
He would not be a guy in a studio with that thing.
What is this, 1986? Come on.
95%.
The coke that twists my ass.
You beat him with the abdominal stretch. My God.
Now my little brain is thinking, how can I use Serpentico to abdominal stretch?
Great. Thanks, guys.
Here we go. Arn and Dynamite. Joseph, I'm going to look up if they've ever had a match. I feel like they probably had a tag team match at some point, right?
I'm just trying to think of when they left WWF and when the Brainbusters came in. I'm not sure. I mean, it probably is Arn. I mean, Arn's one of my all-time favourite guys. Is he a guy that's like? Because I don't know what his role. I mean, obviously he's on screen. So is he a guy that will interact a lot with the the guys working Dark as well as Dynamite, or is it someone you kind of see in passing out of interest?
I've talked to him. Yeah, I'm not sure.
More than I've got, pal. So.
But I don't know what he does when I'm not there, so I'm not sure.
Right.
But yeah, he's cool to me.
I know you like. Go ahead, Joe.
They've had one match against each other. Survivor Series 1988. They were on opposite teams.
There you go. Because I know you guys have like a big crew, right? So it's like, it's I think people assume maybe that Arn's there producing every match. Like, I imagine it's different, right?
Yeah, it is different every week, but I did learn a lot from Arn over the last few weeks. We've been able to interact more and talk about matches and stuff like that. And there's stuff that you don't really think about, right? Because he definitely comes from another era, and his psychology is a little bit more nuanced than what it is now. And yeah, it's learned so much by just sitting with him for like 5, 6, 7 minutes, just talking about like small bits and pieces of matches. So we're very fortunate to have coaches from like pretty much every era.
Right.
We can pick in everyone's brain and formulate our own like strategies and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's super cool. I mean, I've seen people say before that there's like, in many ways, just on staff, AEW has like the history of junior heavyweight wrestling on board, right? It's incredible. But then when you add on top of that, you have a guy like Arn. There's a whole lot of minds to go to. So this is a big matchup. So I apologise for about the 2021. We got to be back in '86 here, right?
This is you against Luther, Joseph. This is big.
Doesn't get any bigger than that, bro.
I mean,
'86, I still had really good hair.
Luther, when I was like, "What's your Skype?" and he told me, "It's like when I was a body guy." Your profile picture.
What do you mean when? You're still a body guy, though. Come on.
It's a good picture, though, isn't it?
It's a very good picture. Oh my god, up top. We're gonna get a squash here?
Whoa. I know Arn's a giving guy, but let's not get carried away. Where is Arn on the all-time? I mean, you both guys here between major promotions. You know that all-time list that gets banded around about guys that didn't quite win the world title?
Yeah.
What name comes to your mind first? Is it one of these? Or is it someone else?
I mean, yeah, Arn, like Scott Hall.
Right. Yeah.
Scott Hall is one of them where he had all the tools, right? He talked the part. He had a character that was different, right? And just for whatever reason, never got to like that top of the industry. But yeah, Arn's another one. I don't really know who much else would be, but Scott's definitely like the number one pick for me. Like anytime anyone asks about like that type of question, he's always my go-to, because I always thought he was like really smart too. I think that's a good answer. I think it's a common one. Like, I think he's one of those interesting cases that wrestling produces a lot of, where it's like he didn't need it, right? It's like, this is one of the stranger things and trends in wrestling, but it's a real thing. I think it's a good example of it.
Oh, Mr. Perfect.
That was going to be
there you go.
Like Hall and Perfect are the two that I think of.
It was Piper, right?
Yeah. Piper was the guy that like definitely didn't feel like he needed it.
Yeah. I mean, it's very era dependent, isn't it? I think it's like, I think Hall is an interesting one because we could pretty easily do an alternate timeline where he is the guy that gets the third title, right? Whereas Piper, like, it just wasn't that time, right? Hogan was gonna have the belt, but Piper was fine as his opposite. So it's all time.
Wasn't it Pipe? They didn't put the belt on, and I could have totally be wrong here, but wasn't it they didn't put the belt on Piper because he wouldn't drop it?
Was that when they did the big event thing? Was that
I think so. Like they wouldn't. They were supposed to put the belt on him or were going to, but then he wouldn't drop it back to Hogan or something, so they didn't. So he didn't get it or something like that.
Because he didn't lose to Hogan, right? Like their record was like no finishes, count outs. That's it.
Tank.
But I could be totally wrong. For some reason I'm just thinking that I've heard that before.
I think you may be right. I think there was something that happened between Piper and Piper at the big event, I believe, when he was with Hogan. I'm pretty sure that's the case. So yeah.
That's why Chaos Project aren't tag team champions. We'll never drop them anyway.
There you go.
Can't lose if I can't catch me.
I do think like with Piper, people, and I think history works that way, right? But when they talk about the biggest stars in the history of the industry, I don't think people get how important and significant Piper is. I mean, we all just said it then, like the guy, he was like, oh, I'm fine, I'm going to lose to Hogan. And 10 years later, he was beating Hogan in WCW. Right. He was a big deal.
Well, think about the first, few WrestleManias was basically what really put wrestling on the mega stream. I mean, and he was right there. I mean, the whole Cindy Lauper, all that stuff. The MTV wrestling, whatever you want to call it, but he was huge. Without it, it wouldn't have had the whole snap to it. It's like
Dynamite has hit this head 4 or 5 times.
Dynamite has controlled this whole match.
One spine buster.
I'm expecting a huge upset.
Tank asks your favorite FMW feud.
I don't know, didn't have a ton of huge feuds. Wrestled the Sheik and Sabu a lot, but I really liked wrestling Izaki or Hayabusa. I really liked wrestling Tarzanzota, actually. He was awesome. Wrestling Onita once in a while was cool, but I don't know. I really liked Goto. That was always a good hard battle every time. But fun ones were Izaki was cool, Hayabusa was cool, but weren't allowed to give him a ton of stuff. He was still a young boy, but he was really easy.
That's an interesting point that you mentioned. That's a huge part of Japanese wrestling, especially the hierarchy they like to. I wish that's one of the more fascinating parts of their product. Is if you watch their stuff long enough, you could do basically a direct top to bottom of their roster. I think modern wrestling, as my guy gets pinned here almost certainly. No, not yet. I think modern wrestling, because more and more the idea is let's go and have a good match because this is a performance. That seems less important now to me than, and that's not, I'm not saying it's better or worse, I just think it's an interesting change. Is that something you guys you sense or you're aware of, or is it just to you an evolving landscape?
I guess it's how the business has evolved, right? Back when you start off with that young boy system, it's an investment, right? They send you on excursions across the world to get better, just to come back and then climb the ranks there. I wish I was more geared towards on this side of the world, because I think people like me, I'd benefit, from being across the world for 6 months and coming back. Right? Things like that. I personally, I missed out on stuff like that. Was that a critical?
Yes, it was.
That was kind of a squash.
That was brutal. We're gonna bring on back.
Who's talking about picks now?
Knocked him out.
That was a 15-minute squash right there, Joseph. Arn did not fare very well. I think you picked the wrong one. You had your choice of which one you want to go with, and you picked the lesser version.
Luther gang out there watching this. Who's with me now? Who's with me? Come on.
Serpentico, my bad pick off your good point there. Please carry on what you're saying. It was worthwhile.
So I wish promotions over here would be able to invest in that way, housing them and training here, right? Just have them go across the world, wrestle different promotions, right? And come back and see how they fare and see, look at Okada. Okada's in TNA, and for some people, okay, he didn't do much there, he didn't, but now he came back to Japan being the biggest star in Japan for what, 6, 8, 9, 10 years, who knows, right? Same with Tanahashi, but the reason they got so good is because they wrestled around the world before they got the chance to really show their stuff in New Japan. And I think more wrestlers would benefit with that type of system. But that's wrestling nowadays, unfortunately, especially now, like the state of the world, nearly impossible to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So,
All right, you kind of, well, I mean, you need this one, Serpentico. You've lost out on one. Luther's got one guy advancing.
I'm looking for this 4-minute, just chest slap-a-thon, and we're going home. So,
just coming into my head about the question there, it's different. The world right now is a little different, but that's one thing I like and I respect. Like AEW brings in a lot of kids from all over the place, or vets, and really give them a chance. Have put them on dark and let them do their thing, which is pretty cool. It's not the same, but it's it's kind of this reality version of that, I guess.
I agree.
That's what I do love about Dark, and I mean, it's a long show. There's a lot of matches, but the amount of talent used and still given opportunities on those shows seems like it's very good for everybody. Because like there are indies opening up again, but when indies certainly weren't opening up, like you could find anyone on Dark any given week, which was really nice. Like, I know Joseph was excited for the Kingston and Drake match this week.
Yes, yeah, very much so. No, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, and beyond that, it's not just giving guys work, right? I mean, you're finding hidden gems.
Yeah.
Guys that could be in the promotion for a long, long time. It's very interesting.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Dark, right? Like, after March, like, I didn't have any shows. Like, I was I didn't do anything. And slowly but surely started getting booking on Dark, and then now, here hoping Andre the Giant, went on Twitter. Like, it all comes full circle, guys.
I'll give you more time between matches, Joel.
I think also, I mentioned earlier about hierarchy, and when Luke was mentioning that Dark, I think something like the Lee Johnson story does such a great job of enhancing that element, because it's like, look how much it meant to get one victory in this league, right? And that enhances all of you guys, right? You guys, that are competitive each and every week. That's kind of like universe building in a way, that even if the matches aren't as strict in terms of giving guys, the amount of offense, all that good stuff, it's changed, guys want to have good matches, I get that. But it's still a thing. I think Luca's point, it kind of proves me wrong immediately, right? Like, there is still a hierarchy, because guys, they take their losses and they get their TV presentation. It's pretty cool.
Just a modern day, smaller version of that. But yeah, I remember wrestling Azaki one time, and I got in trouble in the back because he got way too much stuff, and I was like, "Well, he's really good." And their answer to me was, "We know he's really good, but he gets to do this, this, and this." It's like, all right.
El Real Gone, thanks for the follow, buddy. Appreciate you. All right, 1,069 followers.
Woohoo!
I just want to point out that Andre is absolutely crushing it.
He's dominating this match.
He is, for the past 6 minutes and 20 seconds, he's just mauled him.
That backbreaker gimmick is
That's it.
and he's just stomping on him.
Just stomps him, just slams him, just.
Luther, he just chopped him in the dick, I'm pretty sure.
So he just put him in a tree of woe, and it made him feel, a certain type of way.
And then stole my gimmick.
Stole Luther's gimmick. This is ridiculous.
Little comeback here. By the way, the Don's character model is tremendous here, right? What a job they've done on that. That's
What
great.
a great tan, too.
Incredible.
First rock.
There's nothing more 1986 than that look right there. That's great stuff. You gotta love it.
Oh, why is Andre running? Okay, I guess that works.
Could be a strong. I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself, because my first guy got beat in, disgraceful fashion. Ron he's getting unfollowed on Twitter. It's all over. I don't care what you guys time it is. For me, this is finished. But I'm not putting anything out there. But an Andre Hansen final. I mean, they had some tremendous bouts, right? That could be fun.
He just didn't follow his Waffle House menu and do what he was supposed to do.
That's it.
Is that what he holds in his hand? Is that what it is? A Waffle House menu?
No, he has stuff, but I just saw someone wrote that and it popped me.
I want to say Jericho used it in a promo. I want to say. I feel like someone used that as a diss to the arm. I believe. I'm not sure.
See, whoa, what's going on? Okay, so if there's a diss, like I get them all the time, but if it's something that's funny, I respect that because then I think it's hilarious.
That's the only reason you're here, my friend. I mean, this whole thing started because inexplicably you found us to be entertaining, and you didn't block us.
If it's done hilarious, I pop. That's a good thing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, when I asked you guys earlier, like Serpentico said it, when you started, it was negative because that's just, you know, you have to like prove everyone every time, right? You don't get that optimism coming in. It's tough. But like, if you check your mentions, you see, you know, a bunch of negative stuff and some positives. Are you at a point with social as a wrestler where it's like, I'm fine with this as long as like, you know, as long as it's not anything crazy, I can accept the good with the bad? Or are you still learning to deal with that negativity? Because it can be tough, right?
It's getting better. I had my things with it, but we're definitely getting more love. You know, most of the only people that really write a lot of bad, negative stuff or bad stuff about even AEW, it's you know, it's the Cornet people that are whatever. I mean, they're stupid.
Yeah, I mean, there's some stuff just not worth, right?
And I know when it's them because they use all his lingo. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
Right.
I mean, go ahead.
No, we're not like. There's like everyone gets like, you know, bitch on Twitter and stuff like that. So it's like, it doesn't really bother me anymore just because it comes with the territory, right? But I just want them to know that if they tweet something really dumb, I just go to their profile picture and laugh, and then, you know, I get out of it, and I go.
I'm done.
Oh, hey, Andre won. So
that was another 13-minute squash. Oh,
what a squash! You get him an elbow drop. Good for him.
I still win best 10.
I only asked that because we had a big conversation about it last week about like how interesting and unique what your job is, right? Like you're part performer, but you're an athlete too. Like there's a weird there's a personal level to it that I think is kind of unique. But to be clear, I mean, this isn't a you thing. Like, it's always worth remembering, hey, the guys that are the top of the industry,
right,
they're getting even more of the negatives too, right? It is what it is, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I sometimes, like, it's really, like, amusing to see, like, I don't understand why people are so negative, but, you know, if that's how they live life, hey, have at it. Like, it doesn't really affect us, right? We still have a job, or, like, getting a hit at us for something that we have no control over doesn't really, like, make our job any harder, right? Like, we still have a job to do when we show up to work, and if that bothers you, then, I don't know, change the channel. I don't know. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit there and argue with you. Like, have fun. You know, tweet Cornette. Who cares?
My thing is like, people that want to do stuff is like, well, I'm 100% better at wrestling than you, whoever's tweeting this. And, you know, most of them are just, it doesn't matter what I do, I'm never going to win. And they don't even know what they're talking about. But I would love to go to their house and be like, show me exactly what you're talking about. But they would have no leg to stand on. The thing that gets me is when people like want to type in or complain, you know, complain about stuff, and it'd be like me finding out where you work and telling your boss how bad you are. You know what I mean? Like, over nothing. You know, but
Joel Pearl, can I continue?
I think also it's like so with our gigs, dipshits like Jeremy and I mean, we are inherently opinion-based, right? Like that's what our thing is. At the end of the day,
everybody should have an opinion. You're allowed to have an opinion.
No, I know you're not. But what I'm saying is like, I'm not going to at you guys if I don't like your match, right? Like I can write in my own, but I don't need to go and tweet you at Luther. You know, that to me that's a different thing altogether, right?
Yeah. I'm open for discourse. Like it's a public platform. Like talk, you know, whatever you want to say, and you can, right?
Yeah.
But like in that, like, valid critiques, like they don't like if you don't like something I did, hey, that's great, that's awesome. Like, you know, we're not here to fucking please everybody. But like, don't tweet me saying, "Oh, you know, you're stupid and your house is stupid and your dog is dumb." All right, what do you get out of this? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
go home.
I got this long message that the guy must have spent like 20 minutes texting out, and it was how he's such a big fan of mine, and then like 3 paragraphs of all the bad stuff I do, and then at the end with, I'm a huge fan, like, keep up the good work. I'm like, you're a fan and keep up the good work. You just finished texting all this, how bad I am.
Yeah, that says more about the person sending it, definitely. That's a good example, yeah.
That was John Cruz that sent that, actually. So
Wow. That guy's a piece of...
He's a giant dick and deserves a big punch in the face every week.
Every week. He needs to get dick punched.
Yeah.
Yes, there was a comment in the chat about, people replying to the promotion, and I think, in truth, I don't want to dwell on this topic because we're having fun here, but if we're being honest, a lot of it, people are trying to gain traction, right? They're trying to gain followers, and I think sometimes the person they're going after, they forget their view, right? It's like, they're using you as a means for numbers, basically. It's a shame.
Yeah, they do forget that, people are human. At the same time, like, again, everyone has their opinion. If you don't like something that a person does, that's fine. Like, that's you're not supposed to be everything, right? You got different tastes. Everyone has different tastes. But just don't make it personal, because I don't know who that person is. So why come at me with personal stuff? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
It's like if I write about, like, I'm just going to use as a different example, but it's nothing against them, like the Carolina Hurricanes or something. If I'm like, I'm not going to spend my time writing about how bad they are, because A, they're better hockey players than I could ever. They're all professionals. And if I don't like it, I just don't watch their games. Plain and simple. It's like, if you don't like something, fast forward it.
You tell them. They gotta know you're not watching.
Yeah, I'm done now. That's it. Never watch the games.
I'm not coming back next Wednesday. All right.
And I don't get too when people complain about, like, oh, Dark's so long or has this. It's like, it's free wrestling and it's good wrestling. And if you don't like a match, just go to the next one.
You have to take that with Jeremy, Luke. That's not what you're doing, mate. Okay. The thing is, you have to. Jeremy Lamb will sit there on a Tuesday night, updating the results for the dark matches. I mean, that's a different gig. But I'm with you. There's no.
But just think, when COVID hit, there would have been. It was close to being no wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luther, that's what I wanted.
one match a week.
Yeah. I was like, good, let me get a break from this.
So we just do this all the time.
Yes.
We just talk about 86, bro. We wouldn't have to write anything about 21. It'd be great. Any interactions with Hanson? I mean,
Yes.
As far as him, right? He must
Yes. So a couple times I've crossed paths with him, like maybe 3 or 4 times. I remember a couple times I was at like a jewelry place or like some place or whatever, and he was there. I don't know, like just with different people that I knew that knew him, like he was there. He was always really nice.
It's now you've just proved. Anytime you see any criticism, you be like, I've met Stan Hansen. Win, victory, for Luther. That's tremendous. He's a great example, by the way, of the hierarchy thing too, right? Like, his match collection is incredible because his best stuff, I think, is some of the best stuff ever. But he could have had way more depth on that list if he wasn't. So much of the act for him was he would just kill guys. It was hierarchy. He had to be reiterated, like, this is the baddest guy, Jen. So he's interesting in that sense too.
I think it's great. I think you should, like, some people should just have, monster type, like, everyone's terrified of, like that Bruiser Brody type style where, like, just chase, people, you come on, everyone's afraid of you. And Luther, there's stories of Luther doing the same thing, right? There's pictures of him running through the crowd and people just running away, like, that type of stuff I miss. That watching that on TV, I miss that type of stuff. That's great. Like, I think there should be character specific, moments like that make that person or that character like larger in life. Just like there should be cruiserweights and big small people, etc. There should be that monster type bad guy that everyone's afraid of. Tires all the fans, your bosses, everyone.
They kind of do that with Suzuki in New Japan, right? Like everyone's still pretty afraid of him. And they sort of did it with Archer when he was over in New Japan.
Yeah, they did. Of Archer too, because he still does this over here. He just plays in his way. Not fun.
Yeah, and in fairness, like we talked about the Horsemen earlier, but those guys were super giving in their TV stuff too. So it's probably, as much as we framed it generational, it's probably just talent for talent. Right? Like some guys you need to, you mentioned, create an aura and a fear, and other guys they don't need that because their ability is such they don't need to.
You know who gives me a vibe where he doesn't even try, but it comes off as TV is larger in life? Ricky Starks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ricky Starks just stands there, and like there's an aura of there's something about him that makes me wow, this guy can be
So, explain on the Starks thing.
Oh.
Well, I don't have heat. Everyone thinks I have heat with Ricky. I wished him a happy birthday on Sunday.
I'm joking.
I'm not sure what happened here.
I don't need that to get back to him. Ricky is a very generous dude, and you're right.
He's awesome.
He does come off
awesome,
as just a complete star when he's on television.
I guess a star.
Please tell Ricky I said hi, and he'll probably just be like, "Who was that? Huh?"
He's like, I mean, as much as the last week as I mentioned, he won in like 5 seconds, and it was awesome. But he's the kind of guy, he could wrestle in 10 minutes and struggle with every guy on the roster, and you would never think less of him as a star, would you? Like, because as you said, he projects himself that way. That's just who he is.
He comes across on the screen, looks like a star, and lose, 10-minute match, 5-minute match, it's great.
That's a great act, right? Team Taz. That's kind of throwback to me, that whole feel. It's really cool stuff.
Yeah, it's just rough and tumble guys that just want to beat everybody up. Great, you should have that,
Yeah.
Wrestling's all about beating people up anyway. You should have a group that their main mission is just that. Who cares about titles? Just beat people up. It's great.
Right. So another guy too that was found, Dark, which was about earlier, Hobbs. I mean, what a diamond in the rough they found there. That was incredible.
Yeah. Another guy that he just doesn't have to say anything. Just stand there, and all he did was whoop your ass. Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. Fits perfectly with with the group that Taz is for him, because everyone has their own they're all different. Everyone's completely different.
I'm pushing for the Starks and Hobbs tag team. Just they do Fast and Furious stuff. I think they're both going to be like big single stars in the very near future. But I want them to be like a tag team where they just do vignettes where they're like saving the world and flying off of airplanes and whatnot.
Well, Starks and Hobbs sounds like a buddy cop duo.
Yeah, it's Fast and Furious, 100%. Like that's what I want out of them. Ricky's used to doing those vignettes. He wrestled on Broom this time last year.
He did. It was good.
That was a good match.
It's amazing to think that's what he was promoting when he first came on our show.
Yeah.
Things have changed. He's wrestling Sting in a couple of weeks. Things have changed. This match, I have not watched this match very closely. Has it been going good?
Yeah, Hanson's been taking most of it. Little concerned here.
Yeah.
You need this one, Joseph, don't you?
I mean, if you want me to pretend I do, I can. I really need it.
I mean, Arn got kind of squashed here, so...
I don't want to wrestle on Park, Jeremy. He'd sling me out of the thing, I saw earlier say that the losers should wear the winner's merch. So it's probably best I go out because I'm the one with no merch, so, so that's an L for me,
I'll send if Luca or Serpentico, or if I win, I'll send them a point guard shirt and they'll get a word on Dark. I'm sure that'll go very well. What?
This match must be a lost match in history. There's no way this happened, right?
Let's see.
I feel like there's no, no crossover. people want merch from me, there's no need for merch from me, guys. Okay, look, you know, there's enough shirts in professional wrestling to be worn without going to me.
I'd like to just get like an overall distraction shirt.
There you go.
I don't know why we haven't done that.
That'd be cool.
I mean, I had to push hard enough for a point guard shirt. So in 1978, they wore 2 battle royals.
Wow, 78.
78.
Where did they wear these battle royals? New York?
NWA,
Florida?
in Georgia, NWA Georgia.
Well, Hanson's, I mean, both these guys have great longevity. When does Hanson wrap up? 2000? He has a long time being like a top guy in Japan. And obviously Savage is a similar time. Oh man.
Oh, the way take him out though.
Whoa.
Savage is up first.
Hang on a second, when are we wrestling this match?
Gotta breathe during matches, guys. Very important. Breathe.
Or just tag your partner.
Is that when? So if you tag out Luther and you don't throw Serpentico at the opposition, does that mean you probably need a moment? Right? That's what
I need a moment.
Yeah. I'll throw you in a minute.
But there are times where I tag him right back in.
Good.
You need to recover.
What's the craziest time/weather circumstance you guys have done a dark taping? Because it seems watching the show there are some late nights on that show. Is that the case? How late has it got?
We've gone on at like 2 a.m.
Yeah, just around 2 in the morning. Like extreme heat, super cold. Like it's been there a year, right? So like we have all the extreme weather, and I say extreme as in quotation, but you're northern Florida, right next to close to Georgia. It does get super hot in the summer. It does get chilly in the winter, especially at 2 in the morning when you're topless.
We had a match when it was like the low 30s with wind.
Yeah,
it was so cold, like we couldn't even breathe, like your lungs were just on fire.
I wrestled Scorpio Sky in July 1st. I remember that was yesterday, because as soon as we locked up, we were just drenched in sweat, because he was like 110 degrees.
Oh man.
So like it's good for cardio, because you keep your body guessing, so your body doesn't tense up. But it's
the elbow.
When it's
oh.
There we go. Here comes the elbow.
Hit it.
Knee drop. What are we doing, Savage? Now go for this. What were the conditions for the Dynamite main event? Because when they released the balloons, they just went elsewhere.
Oh yeah.
Like, that had to be a windy night.
The specific day was actually pretty windy. It's usually windy in that anyway, as you can tell by the direction my streamers go when I release them. But that night in particular is actually more windy than most.
Luther, you had a lot of things working against you. Your boots were slippery, and the wind. That was a tough one.
That was really I wasn't trying to make an excuse. So Serpentico could get my back. My shoes had no grips on them at all. My new ones have been great.
There was no reason for you to make it up. We just popped the idea of it. It's such a scary thought. Middle of a main event match on television live being like, oh, this shoe's not too much fun.
It's so funny because there was something on the outside, and I even said, oh, you guys don't step in that, and then I'm the idiot that goes step in it. Because I saw the footprint, I was like, well, who was stepping that? And I was like, oh, dang it, it was me.
That's the longest match of the tournament, isn't it?
It has.
Oh, that's it, a sleeper. Let's go. I have 2 people advancing. The Robert O'Neill of the Fire Pro Draft.
So you were right. This is rigged.
Yeah, this is.
Come on.
Stands submitting. Both these guys won by submission, by the way, to innocuous maneuvers.
To 1980s maneuvers.
I believe in my match against you, I did the Mortal Kombat where I just pulled your whole spine out.
All right, I'm liking my odds here. I got 2 guys.
Yeah.
Into the next round. All right, let me know when it's good, Joel, bro. We got Flair against Dynamite Kid.
those extreme conditions you're talking about, how impactful are they to your intentions that night as far as the match you had to have? Have you had an experience where it's like, guys, it is freezing cold, let's do half of what we hope to do? Or is it just, we're doing our match?
We just went out and did our thing.
Yeah, just do our matches, right? Like, it's not, we'll just get through it, we'll cry about it later in the back. It's fine. One day I will say, if it is really cold, that ring hurts way more. So
that was really cold when I remember we got in the back. The match went good and everything was done. And as soon as we got back, I was like, that hurt. Everything hurt. Everything hurt.
Because that's how, the ring is, just steel, wood, right, cable. So everything that's affected by the weather, of course, it's in there, right? So.
Do you guys think that, obviously things right now are different, clearly. But do you think long term, the schedule that it appears AEW tends to run when things that's normal, the one they were running beforehand, right? Where you have your TV every week, and that's, for now, that's it. Do you think in the long term we're going to see these guys have even longer careers because they're not doing 5-night loops of live events, that kind of, or do you think like the style is such that it kind of evens out almost?
At least for me, like the schedule we're on now, like I feel great because we have a week and a half in between. We tape so much. We have usually a week and a half in between where I get to rest, just work out, play video games, and not have to worry about getting in a plane or a car or traveling or resting 4 or 5 times a weekend, right? I don't know how it is to Luther, but for me, like compared to what I was doing before I got here, the body now.
For me personally, when I get home, I'm pretty sore until Saturday or Sunday, and then I'm good. But I see what your question was, and I think it's over. The guys now, there's a lot more big risk maneuvers, so I don't know. It kind of evens out, I think, maybe. I'm not sure.
It is. In fact, I don't think we already have some evidence of like.
I was just gonna say, the one thing is though, like when you wrestle, sometimes like if you have 28 shows in 30 days or 20 shows, your body almost gets used to that though.
Yes, yeah.
So you don't feel as much, but when you're only wrestling like once a week or you feel everything.
Mhm.
I've listened to a ton of interviews with guys who've pretty much said the same thing of like, yeah, I'm used to taking all these bumps 5 times a week, and now that I'm only doing once a week or I'm off for 2 weeks and then I do it, it like hurts worse. And the other big thing they say is like, you can go out there and if there's a crowd there, like adrenaline will just get you through a lot of it. And with no crowd, like it's tough to, like those bumps just feel, well, like Dreamer mentioned it, did the Impact match against Swan where he like dislocated his finger, and like Dreamer suffered God knows how many dislocated fingers in the middle of the match, and like they legitimately just had to like stop the match because there was no adrenaline rushing through to like get him through that.
It's just pain. That's it.
That's it. I remember one of the we had one match, I forgot which one it was. We had so many last year, but I remember at the end of the match I rolled out the floor and just said to myself, there's nobody around me, but I said to myself, this is probably the most painful match I've had in my career. Not because of my opponents or what happened, it's just the conditions of like the ring and how cold it was, and you roll out like, so now I don't know if it's because I'm tired, it's late, it's cold. So I do see the point of like, wrestling once a week, like it does, like if your body isn't used to that, then it might like affect you negatively.
Well, I remember my guy that let me down completely earlier on Anderson. He said he was someone who was very, very outspoken on, the body getting used to working regularly, right? Because that's back in the day, 28 days a month, Jerry mentioned, like, double shots, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But I think maybe, and again, I have no clue, clearly, but I wonder almost if the schedule now is more pain in the moment, but it has to be less long-term damage, right? It has to.
We're not stuck in a plane.
Exactly.
Yeah. We, in a car for 8-9 hours. So what people don't understand, like the wrestling, like it does affect your body, but the travel is probably worse.
Yeah.
You know, because you're not meant to be sitting, you know, in a car for 8 hours or in a plane for 3 hours and switch another plane. Like your body ages more doing that than it does taking bumps and stuff. So in that respect, yeah, I think the longevity will be a little bit longer because just, at least for me, it's a power to work. You know, and I wrestle and don't drive back till Thursday or Friday. I'm not stuck in an airplane, and that was the most painful part of wrestling for me, was wrestling and then sitting on an airplane and trying to go home. Because your body doesn't get to relax. You're in a seated position. You're not in a seated position where you're comfortable. You know, you're in a seated position to make them money because they want to fit more seats in a plane. Mm-hmm. So no one was comfortable on a plane, and your body is affected negatively because of that.
It's worth noting, I mean, I'm saying all this stuff as though there's not already like a... I think it's guys today, interestingly enough, even with the trend they're doing for the last year, I think lifestyle in general has shown like the guys today last an awful long time, right? I mean, it's been a debate recently, which we certainly don't need to get to here, but the roster kind of turnover in a lot of places. I mean, you're seeing guys stick around as major players for a long time, and that wasn't always the case, as this tournament shows for better and worse, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak to like the fastest of I'm wrestling now, but yeah, there's definitely, you can draw a comparison to other eras and to now. And when I was a kid watching it, in my head, like, wow, they've been here a long time, but now when you research it, you know, wrestlers have been on top for 2 years and disappeared, 3 years and disappeared. When you're a child, you think like they've been in the promotion for 10, 15 years. Mm-hmm. It's not the case. So when I look back, oh, there's a ref bump. Okay, here we go. There's the blood. Let's go. You know?
Rick just ran into the referee. What are we doing?
But back to what I was saying, like, I lost my train of thought because I saw the ref go down. I saw red shit.
You were saying about how the guys that you thought had been around forever, actually, you look back now and it's like...
When I was a kid, I thought these guys were around for such a long time, and then look back at it now, like, it's the opposite, right? So, I don't know if that's just happened naturally growing up, you know, because you're wide-eyed and doe-eyed when you're a kid and you think everything's larger in life. Maybe when I'm, 80 years old, I'll feel like I wasn't around long enough, right? I can't. That's my observation. Like, especially like looking up, like even today, looking up, 1980s wrestlers and going, wow, they've only been active for such a little, amount of time in their careers. But I thought they'd been wrestling for 30 by the time, they were on TV.
So, I have a couple thoughts on that stuff though too. One thing is, as far as the body goes, like a lot of guys are smaller now.
Yeah.
Whereas before, if you were 240 or 250, you were kind of small or middle of the road. Whereas now, if you're 240, you're a giant. You know. Yeah. And taking bumps when you're bigger is obviously going to be more pounding on your body. And the rings now, though, too, are a lot better than they used to be.
Yeah.
Like the rings are way better put together. I mean, I remember wrestling when I started a couple places that I worked at. Excuse me. Which were old boxing rings that they just made into wrestling rings, which basically means they just took one of the ropes off, and it was like landing on cement the whole time.
Ric Flair's down!
Oh, no.
Wow. Nature Boy's gone.
13 minutes. Oh, man. A lot of people lost money on that one because the betting points were all on Flair. See, I didn't rig it, everybody.
Luther Gang, come on, man.
I'm a little bit weary of the Dynamite Kid statistics on this game. Not gonna lie, I feel there's something going on here. He's killed 2 horsemen thus far. He run through the enforcer. I don't know what's going on.
The Horseman Killer.
All right, Andre and Savage is the next match. The winner meets Dynamite Kid in the final.
Oh boy. Ooh. Well, yes.
I have 2 guys in the second round. If I don't get one of them in the final, it's big disappointment.
Let's just hope for another squash, okay? Squash Savage, just mean, just be mean.
I'm very worried that it is going to be another squash, honestly. Andre looked unbeatable in that first match.
He did not bump at all.
No, he didn't take a single bump.
Yeah,
He killed Don Rocco. It was ugly.
Oh, yes, he did.
I mean, Andre wasn't around for taking bumps, especially at this point. You know, where
Oh no, 86. He was like took one bump, right?
86, he was 330,000 pounds, and Hogan slammed him in front of 8 million people at the Tokyo Dome.
That was his bump. That was his bump.
That's all you need. That's the moment.
it's true though. That's the craziest thing, right? I mean, you mentioned moments earlier. Is that the best example you can find? Like, the rest of that match is almost irrelevant because it's that image that lives forever.
I don't know. That's probably one of the most replayed clips ever.
Yeah.
In wrestling ever. Right? That was always, in the WWE show, right? Like it's been forever. So like,
So
that's
you're
something
talking
that lives
about
forever.
something from 35 years ago, 34 years ago, and you still remember it. So it was huge.
Right. Nobody remembers the match. You can't tell. I can't tell. I know there was a leg drop. I can tell you that much. There was a kick out, right? Like, I can't remember the match, but I remember the moment of the slam and all the light bulbs, flashing.
Probably for the best.
Alright, got a stick and move here, Macho Man. Can't be getting caught in the grips. Did they do like mini Savage and Andre matches? I don't feel like this was. I feel like they left some. I know Andre was what he was when kind of Savage was rising up, but I feel like they left a little money on the table with this potential match.
Sure.
I'm gonna look it up quickly over wrestling.
Someone's about to lose money because it looks like Andres just doesn't care.
No, he's here to win a tournament, pal.
Look at this.
Well, I mean, dude, look at that's ripped up Andre right there.
I downloaded 3 Andres, and to Serpentico's credit, he clearly picked the OP one.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta pick the shinier one. That means you worked out a lot.
They did. It
Change
looked
your own bulk baby oil.
Yeah.
like they had a run when Savage was the champion in '88, working the house show business together.
Because after he does the initial turn, he sticks around and eventually does like a warrior. So I assume they must have only house shows, right?
Yeah, nothing, no like major. They did do a Saturday night's main event in '88.
There you go.
Yeah, that's
How many times did Andre run off the ropes like that?
He got a 2.9 2 minutes into this match. Doesn't seem good for him.
That doesn't seem good.
It's looking so good.
Doesn't seem good. Andre's just gonna run through everybody here.
I'm disappointed in the lack of blood in this tournament. That means you just gotta come back and just run a deathmatch tournament.
Oh, the deathmatch tournament is gonna be something special.
Oh man.
Just rude. Just kick him right in the gut. Oh boy.
Come on, Red Shoes, get in the way. Bump, get in the way here.
Imagine having Andre landing on your back like that.
There we go.
That'd be like when you got pile driven on top of me and you heard me, whoa.
Yeah. That was scary, isn't it?
I remember looking up and we were face to face and I was like, oh my god, I'm about to get my face broken.
Same, actually.
That must happen a lot, right?
First comeback with happening. Oh, he's going for the elbow already?
Oh man.
I went for the knee drop. Oh, he missed it. Not good. Come on.
Get. Slam him. Hit the ropes. To the elbow.
Alright, Andre's blown up. Oh, Savage isn't.
Oh, Savage.
Either. He's just beat up.
It's a television sprint, pal. No.
I don't know why
Yeah,
he's going
they're running
for
low on
this.
time.
How often when you're working a match do you have like 2-second spurts of just terror of like, oh no, this is going to really hurt, and then it happens, it's like, okay, what's next? Does that happen a lot? Or is
All
it,
the time.
Yes.
I usually block it out. I really don't think about how stuff would have hurt until after the tag and got to the back. I'm like, oh, that probably would have hurt even more. I had to turn the wrong way or something. There was one time.
But who won?
What did I miss?
We missed
Andre.
the finish.
Oh, you really missed it.
Oh god, Andre killed him. Not good.
Breaker.
Just
We
a
all missed the
squash.
finish.
Canadian backbreaker.
Just a squash. Oh no.
Wow.
Two guys.
It's a Chaos Project final.
It is.
Ah.
It is.
But we've totally reversed roles because I got Dynamite, you got Andre.
I mean,
You know, the only time I was ever kind of really nervous was literally that pile driver because we were face to face, and I just held my jaw tight as much as I could and hoped for the best.
There was a tag match, triple threat tag match you did a few months ago. It was us versus Stu and Uno versus Joey and Sonny. And there's one of the times where Luther like press slammed me like from the top rope to the outside, which I've never done before ever. But we're up there, and he grabs me. I'm like, well, all right, I have no. Okay, cool, I'll do it. On the way down, it was maybe a 1 second drop, but on the way down, I'm like, wow, this probably is gonna suck on the way down, huh? But then, you know, like everything slows down.
this didn't
I
work
don't mean
out
to
so
compliment
well
Al.
for you. Oh, go ahead, Joseph.
I mean, I don't want to put us over as a booking committee, Jeremy, but what a story we're telling here, right? Dynamite is the underdog climbing up the mountain top. You got Andres killing everyone. This could be a moment waiting us here, guys. I'm just saying.
And this didn't work out so well for you last time, Luther. Don Morocco squashed by Andre. And now,
Okay, Don was my second. Dynamite was my he's my workhorse pick. He was my pick.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
He was actually my number one draw, and Piper was 2.
This is big. This is a big match.
I'm gonna let the prediction run because last time, for the last match, the match ended before the predictions closed. It was such a short match, so I gotta let the prediction run a little bit longer so it doesn't happen again.
Do we have any predictions among us? I mean, I would assume. Serpentico, you must be very confident. You must be confident, right? But like, you know, where are we at on this one?
I'm gonna go ahead and on because he's been squashing everybody, and he's gonna squash Dynamite Kid. Sorry, Luther. I'm gonna keep doing
this. You know
this.
what? Listen to me, Serpentico. My guy has just beaten 2 people that many, millions and millions of people, even the professional analysts, have said would not happen, and he's worked his way up to the top, to the pinnacle. Faced Andre the Giant. And tonight, the Dynamite Kid is going to prove everybody wrong.
Alright. You know what Andre has to say about that?
You know, when loser has to get the other guy all his food at the next taping. There we go.
Oh my god, we got real stakes here.
Loser is the other dude's young boy at the next taping.
Okay. I'm confident. Well, you just see one of these. This is gonna happen now.
Well, I can't wait to get my feet washed. And all kinds of stuff.
I'm just saying the locker room's next to the showers, so you know.
It is. The Chaos Project Fortress, we're set up pretty good. We got it all.
A lot of money coming in on Andre. A lot of money coming in on Andre.
Yeah.
Andre was not a horseman. I don't know what that means for Dynamite. He's beaten 2 horsemen in this one.
He eats horsemen. He eats horsemen. Andre eats horses and men.
I have to say, I was not ready for Luther to go full studio promo. Looking down the camera lens, he was pointing his finger. It was incredible. Selling tickets, I love it.
Here we go, folks. Final match in the stream, in the tournament. Luther
Come on,
against
kid. Come on,
Serpentico.
kid.
Dynamite Kid against Andre the Giant.
Look at that. Not tired, not limping. Hits the pose at the top of the stage. What a pro. What a pro.
It's gonna be so great not having to carry my bags way back in the dressing room next week.
You're as tall as me. You can fit me in your bag. No idea.
My R2D2?
Yeah, no ideas. Alright. Here we go.
So you know,
Andre. Oh, right to the corner. Eat it.
Oh man, this is not good.
Oh!
Speed. Using his
First
feet.
one
That
down.
wasn't possible in real life.
Oh,
Can't drag Andre by his feet.
Dynamite's got to keep his distance. Stick and move
Oh,
here.
freaking
yes,
back.
it was.
Freaking back.
You know, Red Shoes has actually ref some of my matches before.
That's awesome. That's very, very cool.
He's gonna break
Also, a humble brag in the midst of a tournament fight.
I didn't realize that. I was looking at him, I was like, that looks like Red Shoes. I was like, no, that's gotta be it.
Yep. He's faring okay here.
I know, I was actually trying to also take away from when my guy was losing.
Yes, I thought you were.
A little anecdote while Dynamite's getting beat up. Dynamite's not doing bad. He's using kicks.
He's actually sticking and moving.
Yeah.
Except for that.
Yeah, every time Andre gets a hold of him, though, it's just he's focusing on the back. He's going with the Boston
back
Crab. Yeah, Boston Crab. Some double underhook suplexes here. Oh no, this is.
Oh, split elbow.
Oh, that's not. That's disrespectful. Oh my God, this is not.
Come on, kid, get mad.
2.9 and 3 minutes in. Doesn't look good.
Oh. I think he got a 2.9 3 minutes in on like Savage too.
He did, yeah.
I'm not an expert or anything, but
He's just too oiled up. I can't get grips. He can't get grips on him. He's gonna get that on his shoes and he's just gonna slide everywhere.
I don't think Andre's going to be going top rope.
Alright, Dynamite Kid firing up here. Dynamite's got to hit that first headbutt.
Oh,
he's working on it.
what was that? It's like doing some kind of square dancing move.
Oh, there's the
Oh,
payback right
that's
there.
not good.
That's trouble.
Get out, get out, get out, get out. Come on.
Oh. Man, that could have been it.
Okay. Andre the Giant, part of the Young Rock Extended Universe.
Yeah.
Whoa!
1, 2.
Oh no.
That was 3, ref. That was 3.
Oh, avalanched him.
I can't do my scream or Mason will start to freak out.
Your dog is the most adorable thing.
Oh, he's awesome.
The elbow.
I saw Serpentico's dog hanging out in the background early in the stream.
He's got 2 awesome dogs.
He's here for good luck.
Aww. What's his name?
I'm on his dog, so he's probably sleeping behind me.
What's his name?
Gordo.
Is,
You don't snap the place onto the giant.
is that a Lizzie McGuire thing? I don't know why I'm asking that, but I'm gonna ask.
No, the referee named Gordo because when we first got him, he was really chunky. And Gordo, that means chunky in Spanish.
Okay.
So we just kept it because he just looks like a Gordo.
Fair. That's the only Gordo that I could reference was Lizzie McGuire.
That was a big white swing to that game. I really thought that was out of nowhere.
There's Eddie Gordo from Tekken.
True. I was thinking, not Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat Goro. Oh, that's it.
so-
Oh, that's it. My God, Andre just ran through everyone.
Wow. That was dominant.
Luther, I'm gonna bring 9 bags next week. Them all. Each one for a piece of gear.
That's tough. That's real tough. After the studio promo, Luther cut too.
Andre doesn't get paid by the match quality. He's like, I'm just here to win.
Oh, thank goodness.
Get this picture in
There you
here.
go. The victory
Good job.
from
Good.
Andre the
Good.
Giant. Dominant victory.
Well, I got a lot of bag carrying and food getting. It's like a 10-mile walk to get food, so yeah.
So good.
So-
I'm gonna be really picky too.
Serpentico, we need pictures of Luther getting you food at the tapings next week. That's definitely what we need.
I'll be sure to document everything. Yeah,
And I'm sure the whole time I'll just be like bottom lip out.
Wow. More one-sided than I think any of us expected that tournament, right?
Oh,
That was a good tournament because there's a lot of upsets.
Yep. Yep. It's not the one you wanted though when it matters.
That's okay. You know what? It was still, I think, a lot of upsets, and it didn't go the way if most people probably predicted.
True. Certainly not well I predicted. So yeah. Or Jeremy, I don't think.
On the chat there, who was the big winners? Who picked Andre first?
I mean, Andre was 7th out of 8th. Like he was Serpentico's last pick, because he picked Piper first.
Wow.
So
I did pick Piper first.
Yeah.
That is true.
Andre was the 7th pick out of 8. Like that's, and you know he ran through this tournament. The big winner I think was We Rock All Night. He took the most on at least the final match. I don't know about the entire tournament. AW Tobacito lost everything.
Lost everything.
Yeah, lost his house.
Sorry.
Tough one.
Sorry about that.
Tough
That's
one.
to do. Like go to like Best Buy. They got those big refrigerator boxes. You can work your way back up, brother.
Good.
Thanks for hanging out, guys. This was really fun.
Yes.
This is
This
awesome.
is fun. It's great. I definitely want to do a deathmatch one next, and I'm pretty sure that one, Luther wiped the floor with me.
It's all about, you never know, man. You never know.
Right.
All Elite Sting, thanks for the follow. The actual Sting, I'm pretty sure.
Sting. I'm sure that's Sting, right?
He's a big Chaos Project fan.
Yeah, big.
I don't know.
Well, most people confuse me and Serpentico for Sting and Darby all the time. So.
All the time.
I've done it.
John still happens all the time.
Yeah.
That's a glorious fault. That's a great fault. Luke, you need to wear the face paint sometimes. You know that, right? Yeah, I mean, that'd be something.
I need Luther's a big BTE star now. I need a BTE bit where Silver is just running around and be like, Sting, it's Sting! And it's Luther and Serpentico.
Yeah. Joe doesn't watch the product. He doesn't know.
I need. The thing is, we're such good pals, Luther, that I need that distance. It's difficult. I need to be an objective critic. That's really
Objective, yeah. I get it. Well, thanks for having us, man. That was awesome.
Thank you guys for JJ cheered 100 bits, said this is awesome, Luther and awesome Luther and Serpentico. You guys rule. Thank you guys so much for hanging out.
Thank you everybody out there for joining and watching with it. That was great.
Thanks for hanging out. Letting
Everyone
us...
watch Dark.
Yeah.
Dark is now, what, 3 hours away? A little bit more? 3 hours and some change?
Yeah. Yep. It's quarter to 4 right
See
now.
the stars at work. There you go.
Serpentico, let everyone know where they can find you.
On Twitter and Instagram at King Serpentico. Same handle for both. So yeah, just hit me up there. Talk to me. I'll reply. Usually in the third person, because why not? But yeah, those two main. If you want to visit shopaw.com and get that nice Chaos Project shirt, we appreciate it.
Not at David Arquette, right?
Oh, we have so much to discuss on a future episode.
I waited until the end to bring this up. I'm shocked the chat didn't bring it up very early.
There was a mention.
There was there? Okay, I didn't see it, but yes, David Arquette bit is. I don't actually know how you feel about it. I think it's hilarious.
I just feel bad because every time I tweet something, and it's died down a little bit, but for the past few months, he's been tagging stuff. He has no idea why he's tagging it. I feel so bad. I'm sorry to bring you into this. I don't know, it wasn't me.
Luther, where can everybody find you at?
On Instagram, Dr. Luther, and Twitter at KillLutherKill. And I have my new show coming out soon. I'm not sure exactly when it'll be airing, but I'll let you guys know so you can help promo too.
Yes, for sure. We'll definitely.
Luther's World of Cryptids, Ghosts, and the Unexplained.
I've been talked into that there's some haunted houses around here where I live now. So whenever the world opens back up and you guys come to Cleveland, Columbus, or anything, if you've got time, we might have to visit some haunted houses.
Oh, wow.
That sounds awesome.
Fantastic. Hell yeah.
There you go.
Totally down for that.
Joseph, do you want to plug anything?
Well, I'm slightly disappointed, I guess, because the answer to where can they find it should be prime time, Wednesday nights, right? The main event, which should have been your answer, but I just want to say that. Support
You know, the
guys.
thing is, everybody should know that.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. You're right. Are they going to rename the show at some point? Just, Chaos Project Live? Are they going to do that? Because it feels like it should be. We're trending that way, right? But,
Yeah. I mean, that's the way we're heading to. So
yeah.
it's fine.
So just support the guys. This. If you're watching this still, hopefully you've seen it before, and you can follow me on Twitter at Joe Holbert. Nothing complicated. There's no numbers anymore, Jeremy. Right? Which upset everyone. There's no numbers. Just my name. That's all cool. But support the guys because, in all seriousness, I mean, we legitimately just spent 2 hours with us doing 5 pro wrestling simulations, which is very, very cool. We appreciate it. So support them. Watch Dark. Watch Dynamite. All that good stuff. And keep grinning. Folks, keep grinning.
Wednesday nights, TNT.
There you go, 8 o'clock, TNT, Dynamite. We'll be back on the Twitch at 7:45. Joel Pearl, Steven Jensen, Spencer Love are going to do an Impact watch-along. So if you guys want to hang out and watch Impact with them, you are more than welcome to. I think that's everything. Thank you again, Luther and Serpentico. You guys are welcome back on here anytime, and we'll do a deathmatch tournament, whatever you guys want to do. But I really appreciate you guys hanging out and spending some time with us today. Joel Pearl, tell me who to raid. Everyone wants one last, or JJ, and JJ is our biggest sport. Everyone wants one last 4 horsemen sign. Hold up the 4 fingers.
Oh wow!
Yeah, we got to do the horsemen again. There we go. All right, get your screenshots, JJ.
I love the idea that everyone wants this.
It's JJ. JJ's our biggest guy.
Everyone.
Apparently Tony Khan is on F4W's channel. That's a competitor, but you know what? We'll support TK on the F4W. Yes. Tell them that Luther and Serpentico. I don't know. Will you guys get in trouble if they're like, wait, what are they doing on this?
Yeah, I don't know. I just came on to play some games, so
I don't think you guys will get in trouble. We'll raid F4W. They're not going to shout us out because that's.
In the name of wrestling cross promotion, it feels right.
Yeah, exactly. We can cross promote with them. I mean, Denise is their biggest star, so she's our biggest star too. All right, we'll send you over there to Tony Khan and say hi to TK for us, and we're out.